Oh, hello there, and welcome back to another Direwolf video. So yeah, you guys might not recognize this area. Well, this is the mining dimension where I'm gonna set up shop to, well, process all of these bad boy ores coming in here, and there's still like a couple that I still need to sort. Like, energy is usually my main concern right now, because I have basically everything I own trying to produce power, but as you can see, this guy is not like quite fast enough, but is also not getting enough ethylene because for some reason this guy is also not fast enough as well. Like, there's a bunch of things that I need to get sorted because this guy is using how much? 11,000 per tick. That's a lot. But yeah, while we try to fix our power, we also want to start working on, well, processing all of these things. Well, first of all, we're gonna go into some 5 times ore duplication. And you might be wondering, like, how do you even do 5 times? Well, mechanism is the place to go. You just need to look for a very good machine, which kind of turns your ores into, well, a liquid. Yeah, so if you take a look here, you can see that you can make dirty slurry of, well, pretty much most of the ores. Vanilla ones, you can't quite have the same effect with some of the other ores, but some of those ores you can still process through other methods. So you can't necessarily get 5 times on those, but you can get 5 times on these guys. How do you get 5 times? You can see like one lead ore gives you 1,000 millibuckets, which is basically a bucket's worth. And if you take a look at the usage, you can see that 1 millibucket gives 1 millibucket. Of course, you have to clean it with seed oil, for example, or even just water. And then with the clean version, it only takes 200 for 1 lead crystal. Then the lead crystal, you can put it to a chemical injection chamber, and then this guy just produces purification chamber, crusher, enrichment chamber, and of course then gets cooked into a single lead ingot. So doing the math, you get 1 bucket or 1,000 millibuckets, and then you only need 200 millibuckets, so it's a 5-time ratio. Well, and for that we need to come back here to the shack. It's a little bit less cramped now. But thank God, it's producing some tin for me. I've been using it to produce some things. I had to remove some of the upgrades and speed upgrades because my source of power here no longer is ethylene. It's just to advanced solar panels, so even these guys need to, well, generate a little bit more energy. I do think that the higher they are, the more energy they give you. And so with a little bit of crafting using, well, mainly these machines, the smeltering, the enriching, the infusing, and sometimes the compressing one or the osmium one, we got a bunch of resources. So let's start off with this guy. Of course, you need, well, I'm gonna need like, think like 2, then more, another 2, then another 2, if I'm not mistaken. So I'll need all 6 of these. So then I can pull out a chemical dissolution chamber, chemical washer, and a chemical crystallizer. Needs some fluoride, which I believe I have up here, because this guy was, yeah, we do. That's perfect. And boom, the most bang for your buck. Yes, because these 3 are the main ones that allow you to get the 5 times ore. Then we just need to make the rest of the things, which means we're gonna need a smelting factory, the enriching one. I don't think we need the infusing one, but we need the purifying chamber and a chemical dissolution chamber still. So we need quite a few more machines to do. Okay, I believe I have everything I need. Now, I do have one slight worry that I'm running into some, well, low amount of oxygen, because the only oxygen I get is from this electrolytic separator, which has no upgrades, but I will actually have to upgrade him, so he actually works a whole lot faster. And what else do we need? This guy's has pretty much stopped for some reason. He's still losing hours, so what is happening there? This guy's still going. Yeah, it's still going, so I don't know exactly what's happening. Oh, okay, it's consuming, because it's nighttime, it is actually consuming the energy. Okay. I mean, it wasn't actually nighttime, it's just raining. So does rain actually stop these guys from working? Well, I would say so. No, apparently yes. So the first part is done. How do I have this thing working? Well, it's still a little bit temporary with this guy right here, because I need to input the sulfur ore here, and then this guy will pull out the sulfur and make it into sulfur dust. The sulfur dust will go into a chemical oxidizer, making it into, well, sulfur dioxide. Then together with some oxygen we have sulfur trioxide, which together with water vapor give us sulfuric acid, which is now starting to accumulate over here. This is amazing, which means if we just go over here and we grab something like iron, for example, an iron ore, just a normal regular piece of iron, and we put it over here, we will have dun, da, 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 dirty iron slurry, 1 bucket worth, and then we're gonna put it through the chemical washer and then into the chemical crystallizer. Now, in order for it to get out of here, is it a pipe or no? It's not a pipe. Oh yeah, of course you can have all these machines like closed up together, but I do like want to see like if I have outputs or inputs of something. Like I prefer it this way, though. For these machines, now that I know, well, what they have and what they do need to do, this I can just put like this. They should all be already configured, so I can just put auto eject on pretty much all of them. It's pretty easy, and they should all auto eject to the, well, to the next one. So it's starting here and then here and then here and then here and then here. Now these two also need some things here. This guy is going to need hydrogen chloride, which is basically salt. So I need to, or water vapor, so you can still, no, it needs actually to be hydrogen chloride, which we can get through putting salt or getting chlorine and hydrogen. For now, I think I'm going to manually do salt. Here we go. Here we can see this working on all the slurry. Now, this is now my main issue right here. The fact that I do not have like this hydrogen chloride. I will have to do this. I need to get a chemical infuser to make me some hydrogen chloride with just hydrogen and chlorine. But for this chlorine, we use the deconcentrating with liquid chlorine. Hold on. No, yeah, the electrolytic separator. We need brine. And of course, if you want to use brine, we gotta go into some more mechanism machines, which is the thermal evaporation station. Yeah, this guy right here. So yeah, for now I'm just gonna try and gather like tons of salt so we can like do some multiplying some, and then we're gonna make into that brine machine. Hey, look at that. We solved our little issue over here of hydrogen chloride. Yes, we're now pretty much full. So I did the thermal evaporation plant. This is pretty easy. You just make a bunch of thermal evaporation blocks. You make 1 controller, and you're gonna make 2 valves. One to pull out brine, and the other one, well, to put in the water, like so. And then you make them go through the brine, which is the output. This guy goes into an electrolytic separator, and then this guy gives you chlorine, which you then put into a infuser, which then gives you tons and tons of chlorine, and then gives you the hydrogen chloride, and boom, There you go, pretty easy, automated, 5 times ore. We're doing with lead. So far we're already done like full stack. Now these guys can also be upgraded into higher tier versions, so they would actually handle and process more materials at a single time. So we can speed this up by a lot. But then we come to the issue, which is power. Mainly our source of power is this guy. Yeah, and you can see that this guy is dependent on this guy, and this guy is dependent on this guy, and this guy is dependent on this guy, which is not very good to be dependent on so many things, because I have this and I'm trying like a lot of different things to try and get this to work faster, but the only thing that seems to work is growth. This growth 2 that grows nearby crops. So I basically can destroy my axe in order to, well, get this thing to actually have power, which is kind of bad. So I need a better way of generating, well, resources for here. Well, the solution is actually quite simple. It's going with a little bit of thermal. Yes. Now, thermal is pretty good because it actually allows me to, well, grow things. No, not there, bro. Grow things here, but keep them like circling. Of course, this will also need some water, so of course we'll reroute that into here as well. And then we actually go and put the output to be the back. Yeah, you want to take in the output and auto output, but this needs 1 upgrade. I mean, technically you can take up to 4 by being these integral components, which will work towards 2, you know, like having all of these. But right now the one that I definitely need is this one, because with this one I can put a single piece of cactus, and that cactus will cycle inside forever. It will always have at least 1 single piece of cactus, and it will always be making more. Oh yeah, of course, on the top of your thermal evaporation plant you can put these advanced solar generators. Like mine weren't producing like a lot of power here. This guy was basically doing everything, not you, this guy, basically doing everything on its own. So I just decided to put these guys here. I do have more, but they're on the other base and they're actually powering some machines, so I have to make another one to put here. And this actually increases the speed at which your machine works and produces brine, so definitely a good pick. There we go, fully working now, as you guys can see. Of course it is still a little bit slow. We can probably boost him. Don't know if the cactus is the best option we have. Maybe like a carrot would be good as well. I have to check on some of the recipes here for the crusher itself to see what's the best one, because we could also do moss. It gives me 5, for example, you know. I'll take a look at those. So I ended up actually choosing the vanilla seeds, the wheat seeds, because they always output 2 wheat, which gives me 5 biofuel, and they also have a 10% chance of giving me extra seeds, which means that these seeds can also be like processed through to get 2 more. So that seems to be like the best option over here. So let's see, this guy's finishing up, so he should give me 2 wheat, maybe a seed. Okay, just 2 wheat, which gives 5, and then more 5, so that's 10 biofuel, which then just gets processed here into 5. So that's kind of good. So it gives me 5 processes at one time, which is 100 mil buckets, so it's half a bucket every single time. So if we just speed this up, we can have a lot more machines working, and this guy should never run out of fuel. Now, as you guys can see, I clearly have like some major plans from this area right here, and it's only gonna get bigger because this area, well, it's pretty much a flat world, so we can do whatever we want. But right now we need a couple of things done. I just made a flux plug, which has some kind of weird glitch, the icon, for some reason, if you guys can see on the top left corner, but I'm guessing it's still gonna work, so we can just make a public network. Let's make it blue. Yeah, let's make it blue, and we're going to select this. I'm also gonna put chunk loading on just in case, even though we have chunk loaded. And then I also made some flux points. Yes, why do we want flux points? Well, so this bad boy can have some energy for himself. If we do this, select our network, and we're gonna chunk load you as well, and boom, look at that. We have power in our ME controller. And I'm gonna decide, I have decided to go with the applied energistic storage because I was looking at the refined storage, and that's the one I've been mostly using on most of my playthroughs so far. I really like it, don't get me wrong, I really enjoy it, but I don't know, I feel like the silicon costs a little bit too much for me right now, and I like that you can automate a lot of things through applied energistics itself, like without having to recur to other mods like create, for example, because with this one if you have like the inscribers, yes, but you can also upgrade them to be advanced inscribers, which allow you to hopper in things and hopper out some things, which is pretty helpful. So I'm over here on a meteorite crash, and I'm hoping this will work. You every now and then on one of these meteorites you'll get flawless budding quartz, and I'm pretty sure that the flawless ones do never run out, so I'm just gonna prick them up with cardboard boxes. And yeah, they still keep the flawless status, so I think we're good. So I set up my inscribers, so now we can start producing like a couple of these good boys over here. Yes, and I have them upgraded to the advanced inscribers, and then I just connected them with the flux cables, and now they're outputting some of the items. Now here I'm making skystone. I need a better way to get skystone. I don't know if the only way to get this is actually through the meteorites themselves. If it is, then that's a little bit of a pain. I have this guy automating some calculation circuits. This guy had a lot of automation, yeah, for these ones, the printed engineering. I guess I can leave them here. This guy had the other ones, the silicon press, and then this guy is making the logic circuits. So we have a little bit of an automation going on over here, which is going to be pretty helpful as we are now working into the 256 item storage cell. Now this is pretty good, don't get me wrong, but it needs, as you guys can see, some skystone. So these that I'm farming, so I need to automate a lot of these, and then a lot of these, and then a lot of these, and then a lot of these. So the main issue is going to be glowstone, believe it or not. We also need to do like 30 something, or like a stack of these guys, and then also a stack of the other ones. These calculations, even though calculations I need a lot of them. It uses like a whole lot of them. There we go. After a little bit of recipe, we have two 64k and one 16k. Now we can still upgrade this guy further because there's a few more additions. We can go to 56k, or we can then afterwards go into 1024k, and then this one can even be turned into a 256k super storage, which basically has like fluids, gases, and like basically everything you can think of. But what I'm gonna do with these guys, I'm actually gonna convert them into normal 64ks. Oh wait, that's not the one, hold on. This one in particular needs to be, or is going to be, a 16k, because this will make it so that I have a lot more different types of space. Because you'll see that if I do a 64, like a regular version, I probably need I have a cell. Yeah, I have one cell right here. We do this, and we put them together. Yeah, 264. You see that it says 63 types, right? This basically means that at all times I only have, well, 126 types of items, so I cannot have any more types than that. So one redstone counts as one type, one cobble one type, this one type, like all of the different items count as one single type. But if I give it a 16k disk drive, this gives me 16k types, which is insane. So now we're gonna like alternate between these two. Of course, this guy actually takes some netherite ingots. Luckily we did have a little bit. We don't have a lot, we had just enough. And after a while we have our crafting terminal right over here. Now this guy baited me a lot, because apparently in this new update, these guys, the advanced inscribers, actually automatically output their processing things into the system. So I was wondering, like, where's my flux dust, where's my Certus quartz, like where is my stuff? Well, it was basically just being eaten over here. And okay, that was a lot. But now we can dump all of this. All of our resources can go right over here. Now you'll see, yeah, you can see that it already covered 23 types, and I barely even put items into this thing. And if we go over on this side, he's still gonna be emptied out because he's not actually using any of the types. I don't know if there's like a easier way of checking your storage, like how much you have, because you kind of want to put this like #1 priority over there. There's item types, but let's just toss a bunch of items in here and see what happens. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go. I gave this guy a priority because this should theoretically have priority over most of the things, because I want the items to go into here, because these guys I can just switch out and upgrade. So yeah, I'm gonna basically dump a lot of my stuff, like this chest and this chest, like all of these items. Yeah, it's going in there. But you know what, guys, is with now having applied energistics storage and actually have the 5 times automation system, which still needs some tweaks. I still need to figure out the way of actually making sulfur dioxide. I need gunpowder to automate this, so I need to automate gunpowder, and in order to automate gunpowder, well, we need a mob farm. So that's probably gonna be on the next episode though, because today I ran out of time. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't, and please if you have any tips, leave them down below in the comments, and see ya in the next one. Bye.